But maybe just tell us about Whole Supp and how you came up with the idea.
So Whole Supp is a high protein superfood shake that is nutritionally complete.
How does this stack up to the other protein products on the market?
We're more than a protein shake. So somebody could have this as their breakfast, or they could have it as a recovery shake after a high intensity workout.
Was it hard to make the product or get all the bits together?
There's about 29 or 30 iterations. So we have over 50% return customers, which is double the industry average. With this certification, when we say what's in our product is actually in it to the levels we say it is.
What are your go-to numbers, or do you drill into them much?
Sales, return customer, cost of acquisition, marketing spend, and then where our profitability is.
What's the future for Whole Supp?
Big emphasis is growing internationally, but now we're seeing it being a lifestyle supplement where people are just using it as that to support them on their busiest days.
Brilliant. Hello and welcome along to this month's episode of the Startup Accountant podcast. This month, we're lucky enough to be joined by Darren O'Reilly from Whole Supp, co-founder. Darren, welcome along.
Thanks very much for having me on. Appreciate it.
Cheers for coming. What we might do is, Whole Supp is absolutely everywhere, but we might kick off with maybe just tell us about Whole Supp and how you came up with the idea.
Yeah, for sure. So Whole Supp is a high protein superfood shake that is nutritionally complete. Bit of a tongue twister. So basically what that means is it's packed full of high protein, so there are 31 grams of protein, but there's additionally 13 superfoods. So some of those superfoods in there are like organic cherries, beetroot, broccoli, spinach, all with profound health benefits. Additionally, there's over 30 vitamins and minerals. So it's an all-in-one. So that's basically what the product is.
Yeah, that's a lot of bang for your buck there.
It is, yeah. There's a lot in it. The reason kind of why we kind of started might be worthwhile kind of going on to. So my background was I was a professional athlete for a number of years. Unfortunately, had to move into the corporate world. So I was playing for Leinster and Harlequins. And then when I had to get a real job, as some people might say, I ended up losing over 20 kilos in weight, 23 kilos actually. This was from making poor food choices. So as a lot of us get stuck in a bit of a lifestyle trap, I would say, I moved back to the UK, back to London at the time. And I was trying to climb the ladder, I'll be honest with you, as quickly as possible, working long hours. But to my detriment, I ended up skipping breakfast. So if I was lucky, I'd have a coffee and a croissant hanging out of my mouth when I was running.
The opposite.
Literally. Or at lunchtime, trying to maximize my lunch hour by either going to the gym or for a long walk, but then picking up a meal deal, which is cheap, convenient, but nutritionally disastrous. I started realizing by looking around the office, I wasn't alone. A lot of my peers were doing the exact same thing, trying to live an active and healthy lifestyle, but their nutrition letting them down. This is where the aha moment came along, and I reached out to my now co-founder, Dr. Brian Carson, for help. When I reached out, it was very much so, what do you think of this idea? I'm trying to make an all-in-one shake. And he was like, I think it's brilliant. So he got it straight away. He started with a blank canvas. The parameters were, we wanted it to be nutritionally complete. So that meaning that it had high protein, healthy fats, carbohydrates, but then a point of difference with the superfoods. So when I mentioned a few of those superfoods, when we talk about organic cherries, they're amazing for inflammation. Okay. Beetroot, really good for blood flow. Broccoli and spinach, we know how good they are for you, but they're great because they have high nitrate. So this kind of point of difference, what we're looking for.
Very good, yeah. And so I suppose, I wouldn't know too much about nutrition or protein. I know they come in shakes and all that. How does this stack up to the other protein products on the market?
So it's interesting. So we see now that people, first of all, they look at the back of pack when they pick up a product. It's no longer that they're just grabbing a protein shake. So when I say nutrition complete, we're more than a protein shake. So somebody could have this as their breakfast, or they could have it as a recovery shake after a high intensity workout, because just protein alone isn't enough. You need to get protein synthesis. So by doing that is by having healthy fat and carbohydrates.
Brilliant, yes. So it's the one-stop shop, really.
Exactly.
That's amazing. It's kind of like something you think someone else would have thought of before this, but
yeah, and there's definitely other people in the market, which has been great for us because that leads through some education, alleviates some of that. But what we're doing different is, in our opinion, what we're doing different is we have a product that, one, tastes great, has profound health benefits, but then additionally is also accessibly priced. So you can have a shake of our product, which you can have for less than a cup of coffee.
Very good. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great value. And I suppose, like, there is so much in this. Was it hard to make the product or get all the bits together?
Yeah, it was. It was a nightmare. I still have the scars from
Oh,
it,
no.
to be honest. Yeah. So we started new product development during the first lockdown, and when you're doing this process, really you want to be kind of in the kind of lab. You want to be touching and feeling and tasting the product all the time.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we were away from that environment, trying to do everything from afar. And it is super difficult. I actually tell a bit of a story about this. First round tastings didn't go very well, as you could imagine. So what we said was we'd do a blind tasting and we kind of keep it close to family and friends only, like very tight family. So sent it to my parents, my brothers, their partners, all the rest. So everybody had the same score. And somebody gave 0 for a taste. I was like, for God's sake, who's that? And my mum at the time just put up an emoji hand. Thankfully, we've moved on a long time from that. There's about 29 or 30 iterations we went through.
Wow, okay.
Because I didn't realize this at the time. It's all about mouthfeel and texture. And it's when you have the ingredient profile that we have, it's a really difficult thing. And the product is allergen free, so that adds on another complexity, and we don't add any sugar. So it's trying to keep it as natural as product and balancing that all out. It definitely is a challenging process.
Absolutely. But look, I suppose it was all worth it to be able to get the final product as well, because at the end of the day, if someone doesn't think it tastes well, like, trying to sell that down is so hard. So
yeah, it is. It's really difficult. And I think we're really fortunate that we're seeing the return customers. You can bring out a product that you think is amazing, but ultimately customers vote with their feet. So we have over 50% return customers, which is double the industry average, coming back to repeat online. So we're currently a digitally native business. Up until about 3 weeks ago, we've entered into the retail. So we're in a number of health food stores and pharmacies. So we're looking at an omni-channel approach, which is great. It's been an opportunity to bring out additional SKUs. So now you're able to try a single serve pouch at checkout. So it's a lower barrier to entry for price point, and then just gives people an opportunity to try our product.
And I suppose that's probably the hardest part, is like getting the shelf space and that. But if people can get that sample and just a once off, you probably would get X amount of return customer then as well. So
yeah, exactly. So people have an opportunity to try. They can come back then, find out more about us online, and then purchase there if they see if they feel like it, or they can remain going to their trusted shop that they enjoy shopping from either.
Absolutely, yeah. So I suppose like marketing is such a strong part of your brand, like, and it's a great job as well. It definitely does what it says in the tin. Was that a hard process or?
Yeah, it was really difficult. That's actually the iteration you see there is actually V2 of our product.
Okay.
So originally we brought out what I thought was beautiful packaging, and had the dots that are similar there, and then our logo going up the middle of the pack. It looked amazing from my point of view. But the reality was it wasn't very descriptive. It wasn't able to tell what it was actually in the product. So we did the rebrand about 3 months ago. It's gone down really well. But what we're trying to do compared to some of our competitors in the space is we felt that some of the other brands are very scientific, quite masculine, quite, physical. So you see the color patterns we've went with. We're trying to be very inclusive, very open brand, and invite people in to try. It's kind of what I sometimes use the analogy of, if you go into a gym for the first time and you hear weights clucking off the ground, it's quite an intimidating
You know what kind of gym you're going into.
Yeah, and it's just quite an intimidating space. And I think in our category, the Nutrition Complete kind of meal shakes, it is intimidating. People have are worried about what to pick, what brand to select, we want to lead with education. We want to lead with being inviting. So that's why, like on our website, we have a science page, so you can click on all the ingredients. You can have a look at the papers of why we've chosen these ingredients
good,
and the
yeah.
health benefits that go along with it. Transparency is key, particularly when you're trying to ask somebody to try a food supplement. It's really important that they can feel confident in the product. We've gone out and actually done third-party testing on our product as well.
Very good.
So we're informed, certified. So what that means is in the supplement space, there can be a fluctuation of 20% of ingredients.
Okay.
So with this certification, when we say what's in our product is actually in it to the levels we say it is.
Brilliant.
And then additionally, if somebody was, for example, drug tested, it means that the product is safe and that they're able to use it. Which it's quite funny. We're doing something with the HS2 in the UK to fuel some of their staff members. And one of the things that they do is they get random drug tests as well there. So they were worried about what's actually in the product.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that it's not just athletes you'd be thinking that that's important for as well.
And that's the thing, like if you're an athlete like that, nutrition is so important, and you have a busy life as well outside of sport, and you can easily be on the go, and it could be down the country or in a different country, you pick something up. Okay, yeah, 20 grams of protein. Yeah, like you don't have time to read the packet, but just because now it seems protein's on absolutely everything now at the moment, someone might just pick it up and have it, but you don't really know what you're having, or there could be that one ingredient that may tip the scales for, your own domestic league or for sport or whatever it is, which can really have massive implications on you. Like, I suppose, like, that's very busy and all the rest of it, but like, what would you like to do to switch off from work? Like, I'm sure this is 24/7. Like, you have to switch off and take a bit of time to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, look, we're on a startup podcast, so let's be honest. Like, it's a busy world. It's stressful. There's definitely grey hairs coming up, and there's no point sugarcoating all of that. But definitely trying to switch off. So every quarter, I'm trying to do some sort of fitness challenge, more so for my mind, but also to stay actively fit. So this quarter, I did the kind of in the middle of doing the CrossFit Open, which I'm terrible at, but it's very humbling. So it's nice to do it anyway. Next quarter, I'm doing a triathlon in London. Doing so wish me luck. Learn how to swim properly, which would be a help, which is coming up very quickly.
Very good.
And then doing a high rock. So that sort of stuff is really good. Trying to mentally switch off, but also stay physically active, because it's really easy just to get caught in a little bit of a kind of rat race of trying to figure out what you're trying to do all the time. You think non-stop go is the best thing for you, but actually what I've learned more recently, if you're able to take back and look at things from more of an objective point of view, you can get a lot further. So it's kind of like the 80-20. So like what got us here isn't going to get us there. So if you're able to eliminate 80% of the noise and really start focusing on 20% of actually what's going to get us to the next stage of our growth, that's really what we're focusing on. And this is like when workouts and kind of having these fitness challenges, I think that helps kind of keep me focused and mentally kind of...
definitely. I think it's a good distraction as well, because I often think like, if you're not doing something that scares you, you're not living like.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Those sort of things, like even I know myself, like if I was doing something with work and at a presentation or there was a workshop or something, and you're kind of going, oh God, Jesus, this is going to be tough, or how am I going to pull this off? But I think puts things into perspective as well, that like you go back to your day-to-day challenges with business or work and it's going, hang on, this is nothing. That thing's scary. This is nothing. And that's important for life as well.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all about perspective. I'm saying that now. Ask me after the triathlon, see how I get on.
Well, best of luck anyway.
Yeah, thanks. I need it.
So I suppose, look, it is an accounting podcast. What are your go-to numbers, or do you drill into them much? Or?
Yeah, so ultimately we have to. We're a business who has... So ultimately, I started the business from bootstrapping, and then we took on external investment. So we're one of Enterprise Ireland's high potential startups, which is great. They're brilliant. But we also have a number of angel investors. So ultimately, we need to be the devil's in the detail, and it's all about numbers. So what we look at is every day is sales, return customer, cost of acquisition, marketing spend, and then where our profitability is. And then additionally, all the other costs that go along with building a team. So yeah,
Very good, yeah.
we need to be really on it.
And so when did you realise it was time to invest in numbers and get them pulled together? And
So you know what? So when I started the business, I was double jobbing, which is, I'd highly recommend everybody to start it that way. Some people might disagree, but I think you start to realise the value of time, and then also how much work it takes to actually get a business from A to B to actually make it something that you're able to take a step into full time. And then also it's worthwhile doing it with your own money, because you learn very quickly how precious it is.
yeah,
And then how much you respect investors and money. So that's how we went about it. As soon as we went full time, it means that you're bringing other people into the business. So you need to be very sharp on the numbers. So yeah, we have sales reports every day. We track it back, and then at the end of every Monday we do a week review and then a planning session for the week ahead. So,
very good. Yeah, that's so you really have your finger on the button with numbers. Like that's brilliant.
We have to. It's not just our money. And we have to be able to grow the business to the levels that we anticipate and we want to grow to. So it's really important.
And you need that foundation to get to that next level again. And
ultimately, it's not the most glamorous part of the business, but it's probably the most rewarding thing when you have an understanding for what is actually making the business tick. So from cost of acquisition online to the return customer is like ultimately the North Star, because you can have you can believe your product is great, but until you start seeing people returning all the time, that's the best part.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like that's probably the thing of like, if it was just a shop there selling it, people come in and out, it's pretty hard to track that. Whereas that's the beautiful thing about websites, and you have so much data available to you that you can actually see these people coming back.
Yeah, and that was part of the reason why we started as a digitally native business, because we wanted to understand our customer. We wanted to learn how to speak to them, to understand what their preferences were and how they started behaving with the product. So like we know, if the product comes habitual. So after 32 days, we know when somebody returns that they'll most likely purchase it within 28 days and all this sort of good stuff, because you learn how people actually start enjoying using the product.
And I even think maybe like that feeds into other things like advertising spend and that, because right, if you put X amount of advertising into, or whatever channel you're pushing that into, if you pick up X amount of customer from that, you possibly get 50% return ratio from it. So that's where like just completely goes full circle. Like
yeah, and that's why you need to know your numbers inside out.
Numbers are very important.
Ultimately, and if you can't get a grasp at them, get somebody to help you with it.
No, definitely. So I suppose like outside the numbers then and the challenging business, like what motivates you? Like what drives you to keep going and do those late nights?
Yeah, building a world-class team. Ultimately, that's what it's about. So we believe we have a world-class product that's going to end up being the market leader. But the way we're going to get there is by bringing the best talent into the business. So my co-founder is, in my opinion, Dr. Brian Carson is amazing at what he does. He's a senior lecturer in University College Limerick, outstanding. Gets invited to speak at international events all the time. We've brought in Daphne, head of growth. She brought a brain care business from 25k a month to 280 sterling a month annual monthly recurring revenue. Then we brought in our operations director, Therese, who's come from being a managing director of a more commercial business. So we're trying to build a team.
It's a great team, yeah.
Yeah, so the reason why we're doing that is because we want to have, and this is what motivates us, to be a world-class team and to be able to operate at kind of high performance. But like ultimately building a startup, you need to build people who are so focused on the same goal. And that's that product. And this is our product. And that's why we're bringing in the right people. And for me, as one of the co-founders, you need to be able to recognize your weaknesses.
Yeah.
You bring in people who are way smarter than you or have way more experience in a certain field. And that's what's going to make us ultimately successful.
Yeah, I was at a conference there last week, and one of the speakers said you need to make a team of A players. And it's like, that seems to be what you have, like, and you have the foundation here again, so you're ready for that next step.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, we bring in kind of A players, and then we have other amazing team members who just flood into that ecosystem, and then everybody's just kind of focused on the same objective: growth, retention, and new products. And that's
Brilliant.
it. It's amazing, yeah.
Super. I suppose then, like, you have this great foundation with the numbers, the team. What's the future for Whole Supp?
Yeah, hopefully we can continue doing what we're doing. As I said, what got us here isn't going to get us to the next phase. So we have a number of things in the pipeline. Probably one that's probably more exciting is we're opening up a fulfillment center in Rotterdam.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to open up European shipping for a lot more ease. So our predominant two markets are the UK and Ireland, but we ship to over 22 countries around the world.
Oh, wow.
But a big emphasis is growing internationally. And yeah, so that's probably one of the things that's exciting. I also just believe the category is right at the moment. People are so engaged in their health and their wellness. And I suppose one of the realities is our product can fit into many lifestyles. So ultimately, I look at it as a lifestyle supplement, even though the early adopters were kind of athletes and shift workers because they're time poor. But now we're seeing it being a lifestyle supplement where people are just using it as that to support them on their busiest days.
Brilliant. Yeah. I suppose like people are so much more educated now about health and fitness and wellness, and tick so many boxes for you. Like, as you said, if you have a busy day, you're getting your vitamins into you, you're getting your fiber in, your protein, like it's brilliant. Like
and like the amazing thing, what really gives us kind of a bit of a buzz, we do this Monday motivation. So we take clips from any reviews that we've gotten from customers or any comments on social media. We just post them into the channel. Brilliant. And to see the impact that it's having on all sorts of people's lives, it's amazing. From athletes, as I said already, but like also the parents, a lot of mothers are using our product. It's amazing to actually think that mothers actually don't really look after themselves that well because they're so busy. You'd know
they're
this
so
yourself
important.
with your 8-month. Yeah, they're so ultimately so important, but they're so busy looking after the new arrival that they forget about looking after themselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we've noticed that.
Wow, I didn't even think of that actually. Yeah, that's just another market.
It is, and it's one that's really picking up a lot of steam for us at the moment, just because it's solving a big issue for new parents. And then, like I often say to the guys in the office, like, the ultimate definition of high performance is somebody who has a busy job, just doing 40, 50 hours a week, then training for maybe just say a 10K or a 5K run. So they're putting in the hours, probably an hour every day training, then having a couple of kids at home and keeping their partner happy. That's ultimately high performance. And that's like, how can you support them along their journey? And that's life. Everybody gets very busy. It gets about looking after themselves.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, Darren, thanks for coming on. Finally, we'll just maybe leave it with, what advice would you have for someone trying to start up a business now?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's actually something that's been asked a lot lately. I would just say, map it out, go hard after it, and try to do it whilst being in another job so that you can work outside hours. Everybody has a lot of time in the day. Give it enough thought, you're able to test most things before launching. You're able to do a soft launch. You're able to test, even if, just say, for example, if it's a food product, you're able to do a Sunday market, get people's validation, and then go after it. Don't hold back, because like there's so much support. Ireland is amazing for ecosystems, the likes of, for example, your local enterprise office, Future, Enterprise Ireland. There's all sorts of angel networks that are willing to give advice and support. Network and just get stuck in.
No, I think that's great advice. Even the bit about like kind of moonlight, like do it in the evenings, keep your full-time gigs. You're not putting all the eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Spending your own money as well, because you kind of know what it is. And as you said, when you do go to investors, then, you've skin in the game really, because you're the first investor with your time and your money. And then as well, like another great point there for startups, like, get feedback, and your example of going to friends and family first, getting their like input, and like your mother putting a 0 on it, like,
yeah, it's harsh.
Yeah, but that's so valuable though, because like your friends, you have 10 friends. What do you think of this, lads? Oh, yeah, that's super. Yeah.
Every that's the other thing. People like to rub your belly, But like, it's good to get critical feedback, and like that's why I suggested like a farmer's market, if it's a food product or whatever the case may be, you can get early validation without putting all the risk in there first of all, and then move and then just be committed and be all in.
Cool. And then finally, I suppose, like if someone wants to buy Whole Supp, where can they get it?
Go to our website, wholesupp.com. We have all sorts of product ranges. So we have SKUs that's a 1.5 kilo bag, and then there's a starter pack there. So if somebody's looking to start their journey with us, where you get a free shaker and free shipping. And then there's also our multi-pack travel pack. So if somebody doesn't know what flavor they want, we have chocolate, vanilla, and caramel sea salt.
Brilliant.
And they can have a taste. It's just a sample pack.
Super. Okay, definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, good.
Okay, Darren, well, listen, thanks very much for coming on. Really great chat there. And best of luck with the triathlon in the future.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks a million.